Good Thursday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. Well, it's another day with some dense fog. In fact, the National Weather Service did not delay. Last night, around 10 o'clock or so, they issued this particular dense fog advisory that was to start at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then it was supposed to run, and still is going to run, until 10 o'clock this morning. So keep in mind, that's what we're dealing with at this particular time. Most of what we're going to be dealing with, again, is quarter mile or less. Emphasis on less, where there could be some spots of problems. Yesterday morning at 7 o'clock, I have some notes here. Let me show you the visibility right now. We're down to about 3 miles in Knoxville. It's next to nothing in Jacksboro and Oneida. Some of the white areas might actually be very dense fog for you if you're heading out the door in the next few minutes. Smokies have some issues. Western North Carolina has issues beyond fog with the lack of power. But just be mindful. Keep in mind there are a lot of areas that are going to have poor visibility, so you want to be extra careful in the school zones. You're going to have to be extra careful in school zones anyway, but this just compounds it because of the visibility is so, in fact, poor. I did some checking yesterday, looking at this particular map here. Visibility at 6 o'clock this morning, it was and still is 2.5 miles. So it says 3 there. I guess it rounds up. But the visibility at the airport yesterday morning at 7 a.m. was 1/16 of a mile. That is 0.06 miles or 330 feet. So if you only have about 330 feet of visibility, it can really make things a problem, especially for drivers. So I just want to give you some context. That's the visibility, and that is the big story this morning. But we will get some hazy sunshine. It will turn out to be a pretty decent day as we'll head back into the lower to mid 80s. Wind speed's not moving much. The atmosphere very favorable for fog development. Even the Smokies have light winds, maybe less than 20, maybe 10 or 20 on the hilltops themselves, but there will be some issues, no doubt, if you're heading out the door. I want to say good morning to you. If you're on the call, I can actually magnify your voice by using the power of your avatar. I want to say good morning to my friend Hallie Gibson. She's noting, she said, good morning, glad to have her here. Always happy to have my premium members and all members watching in a live stream. That's the benefit of getting up early, is you get to see your smiling face. So great to see Hallie's smiling face there in the avatar. Fred says good morning. He's got a refreshing, he says, 59 degrees in Maryville. Officially at the airport it's 60, but Fred's in Maryville in Blount County, 59. Thank you for that. And our friend Darlene Gray says, good morning, David. Thank you for the update. Again, we want to make sure you're safe this morning getting to school, getting to work. And it's very hard, let's face it. When you've got fog that's down to less than 1 mile, 0 miles, it can make it hard to see a yellow school bus. So please be mindful of that this morning. It's 59 right now in Newport. It's 54 in the heart of Cumberland County in Crossville. Our friends in Oneida, Jacksboro coming in at 57. Dew points are pretty close to those temperatures. Hence, you get a 100% relative humidity, you get a saturation, and you have some issues like we had yesterday. Maybe a little bit better in some spots today. Some might say it's exactly the same type of pattern, and that's what I anticipated. I've said that yesterday morning, that you had to be forward-thinking that we could have that issue again today. Tracking the clouds in the radar, and you can see there's not a whole lot of clouds. So with temperatures reaching 83, that's where we were yesterday. I think if we hit 84 today in some spots, it wouldn't surprise me. I put 85 in Tellico Plains, Madisonville, Monroe County, easily mid-80s today. 81 for Wartburg. Now, it was only 70 in Jamestown, Oneida yesterday because they had more clouds, but there'll be more hazy sunshine. Once this fog lifts, some like to say burns off, once this fog is gone, you will find temperatures warming up nicely through the 70s. If you're a fan of winter, my little advertisement, I'm going to talk a little bit about winter coming up at the end of the live stream, so I hope you'll stay with me. Or if you're watching it on delay, you can always fast forward, but just want to make a few comments about winter that's still coming up ahead. By the way, the ultimate Doppler radar, which I'm going to show you here in a moment, is brought to you by Marco's Pizza. If you're looking for some lunch plans, check them out. They're in Hardin Valley, Farragut, Maryville, Fountain City, Halls, Oak Ridge, Middlebrook Pike, and Ebenezer Road. Marcos.com now partnering and giving back quite a bit to East Tennessee Children's Hospital. There's some specials they have going on for that very benefit. They're also a corporate sponsor of No Kid Hungry. So if you're hungry, check them out. They are great community sponsors. Magnificent pizza, less than $10, and you can grab a lunch pozzoli. I call it lunch because that's a great lunch item for less than $6. The pepperoni and sausage at the top is, in fact, my favorite of their selections. Now, the Ultimate Doppler radar, not showing anything. We've got some ground clutter. We've got the dense fog advisories that run until 10. That's why all the counties are shaded in gray. But there's not a lot to see here. And if there are some sprinkles, I say sprinkles. If there are any showers, as we put this back into Knoxville, if there are any showers today, it's going to be mainly in western North Carolina, maybe a few sprinkles in Bryson City or Asheville, well to the east. But it is pretty much a gray scenario with the fog advisories. You notice how all the coordinating offices of the Weather Service, you got the National Weather Service at Nashville, National Weather Service in Morristown, and the National Weather Service in Jackson, Kentucky. And up there, I guess, up toward Charleston, West Virginia. All of them have that gray area with the dense fog advisory, so they'll probably all expire roughly about the same time. Not much to see in the Great Lakes, but you can look back to the south. A lot more thunderstorms beginning to show up in the Gulf of Mexico, but we're going to get a tropical update here in just a moment. I want to say good morning to Fred. He's also a big fan of Marco's Pizza. I'm a fan. I could eat pizza for breakfast, Fred, if it's any indication. I like sponsors that I coordinate a line with, and Marco's certainly that. Weigel's is so, I love their milks. Anyway, I get ahead of myself. Ed's on here. He says, good morning. Have a great day. No winter yet, please. He's ready for some fall. And we're moving into a very dry period of October, which we'll see in the 7-day. Good morning to Jeff Brown. His smiling face. I believe it's maybe a two there, maybe a husband and wife there. Jeff and maybe his wife there. Good morning to him. I love it. And Wanda Poe, love seeing her smiling face. I'm on Team Snow, she said. Come on. She says she wants that winter to come faster than some would perhaps wish for anyway. All right, so we've got this covered. We've got the covering of the United States. Like I said, the mainstream media will cover the United States, but I hope to cover some things you just wouldn't hear anywhere else. The moisture deficit. This is a 30-day representation of where some dryness might still persist. You might say that's impossible. We had all that rain from last week. We're coming up on the 1 week, essentially 1 week since Hurricane Helene hit the Gulf Coast and rolled up into the southern Appalachian Mountains. But we're still dealing with the power outages in our friends and just across the border. There are still a lot of hazards about trying to drive into western North Carolina. It's advised that you don't do so. If you go to the website drivenc.gov, that's drivenc for North Carolina.gov, you'll see some of their advisories and why they're having such issues. You can get more updates there for traveling. But the moisture deficit is just representative where there might be some dry areas that extends down to Huntsville. The new drought monitor will in fact come out at 8:30 this morning. You can always just Google NOAA and drought monitor. It'll come up. But what's interesting about it is we'll see how much of it was erased, because we got so much rain, over 6 inches for the month. Did we erase what was a deficit in terms of drought? I suspect we did. We were under a severe drought. That's level 3 as of this time yesterday. As of this time last week, because the drought monitor is a weekly report, and they take in all the numbers up until about Tuesday at 8:30 in the morning. So we had all that rain from Helene and the stalling front that came after 8:30 in the morning on Tuesday. So I digress. This is just one of those things that when you're looking at the numbers, clearly October is the driest month of the year based on averages. We average, 2.81, and that's generous, but that's a 30-year average. It is not a very wet month. As I say, it's favorable for Halloween and pumpkin patches and corn mazes. You don't want it raining cats and dogs in October, but typically we don't see that. But it does get a lot soggier in November and December, when you can actually bring back a secondary season of severe weather. Tornado outbreaks can occur in November, early December at times. But by the way, if you're concerned about smoke, there's a little out there. It's very faint, but this is vertically integrated. It's not necessarily at the surface. But as the sun shines today, it might be a little hazier. There are some wildfire smoke pockets moving through Mississippi, Alabama, and down toward Texas. There's also a patch there across the Dakotas. Some of that all gets captured by the jet stream, so sometimes it can reduce the visibility, maybe make it a little hazier. But if you're super sensitive, just know that there is going to be a little bit of smoke in the atmosphere right through Friday. Although we're going to be getting some rain on Friday, about a 30% chance. Want to bring you up to speed on the hurricane status with Kirk. He's, 120? Yeah, he's a strong hurricane, right? So we're talking about right now, hurricane status was expected to be about 3 or 4. Excuse me, it should be about a 4, but right now it is got winds of 120. So what are you looking at? You're a Cat 3 now, expected to be a Cat 4. Another 10 miles an hour anticipated there in their cone. But of course, Kirk will not cause any problems for the U.S. And Tropical Storm Leslie was named at 11 o'clock last night. She was a tropical depression, number 13, but they did pull the trigger. the Hurricane Center decided to assign a name to TD number 13. So she is Leslie. So let's see. Let's do that. Let's just follow the logic here. We got Kirk. We got Leslie in the middle of the Atlantic. Not going to cause any problem here. But Milton. Milton is the next available name on the list. And that could be followed up by Nadine. That could be followed up by Oscar, Patty, and Raphael. So there's some names that we could see even in the month of October. And right now, the only hot spot that's approaching the U.S. could be what's developing in the Gulf. A lot of heavy rain, whether this gets a name or not, of Milton, may be academic at this point. But if you are headed to Destin for fall break, if you are headed to Orlando or Tampa, you probably want to keep an eye on this. That's why it's so important to keep in touch. Download my free Captain Accurate weather app so you can track the radar and keep informed of what's going on in terms of what's travel plans, if your travel plans are taking you far from home. Future rainfall doesn't show much today, but maybe a spot of rain in the Smokies by tomorrow morning, even late tonight after midnight into Friday. This is what the modeling would suggest, less than a tenth in most cases, but could be closer to a quarter inch for Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, or Gatlinburg. Mount LeConte, about a quarter inch, and maybe a tenth of an inch in Wartburg. So the estimation, well, I left a 30% chance of rain tomorrow, will only grow through the afternoon on Friday. Should start to close off or shut down into the early evening of Friday. I know there's some high school football games tonight, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. But I think any rain we get tonight should come closer to midnight and thereafter. I don't think it's going to affect any high school football games. I think Maryville is at Bearden, and I believe Hardin Valley's got a game too. So you've got some home games here in East Tennessee that's playing football tonight. Future rainfall shows all that rain that's developing in the Gulf, and over the next couple of days you can clearly see some areas in red, purple, which would suggest probably over 10 inches of rain or so. So it's going to be one of the situations where it's not so pretty in the Sunshine State in the days to come. Not a whole lot of clouds to see here. Sun is up at 7:33. Sun sets at 7:16. I want to check in with your comments and say hello to you. Matt Hall is on here. He says, good morning, David. Any forecast on how the system in the Gulf might affect water levels? I'm assisting search and rescue. I was hoping for no more water. Yeah, the Gulf of Mexico, it's not just Florida. It could be easily Louisiana. It could be other areas, Mobile, Gulf Shores. All these areas in the Gulf need to watch for the next, I'd say, 6 to 9 days. We'll need to watch what could be Milton. I suspect they'll eventually name it Milton, and it's only when the Hurricane Center assigns a name do most Americans pay attention. I mean, it's just a fact of nature. When they see a name on the board, they go, oh, okay, that's a legitimate storm. But even if, I'm telling you, even if they don't name it readily, like in the next day or two, it's still going to produce heavy rain, as we just illustrated with that map. Darcy's on here. Thank you for that, Matt. Darcy says, good morning. Watch the new storm. It is scary stuff. It will be something to watch. And I got a note from Marcia Ramsey. Good morning to you. She's got 56 degrees in Crossville. And as you can see, my times, my sunrise, sunset times are on the screen. But Marcia, you could subtract an hour for that, right? That's 6:33 Central, because you're in Cumberland County, Crossville. And the sun will be setting in Knoxville at 7:16. It's probably closer to 6:16 for Marcia, since she is an hour behind us in Central Time Zone. But as far as the bus stop, if you're just joining us, we talked about the dense fog. Another morning that dense fog is an issue. I have to give props to the Weather Service. They did pull the trigger around 10 o'clock last night, so before many people went to sleep, they were aware that fog was going to probably be another issue this morning, so at least people are aware. 81 degrees for pickup between 2 and 3:30 today. Temperature right now 60 in Knoxville, 58 in Nashville, and temperatures in Chattanooga, Hamilton County currently have 64. You can see dew points have come way down. Look at the 40s. Anything that's yellow on the base map is comfortable. So we have comfortable dew points. It's just the fact that our air temperature and our dew point temperature are so close that we're getting a lot of condensation in the form of fog. But once we get through the rest of the day, we should be back in the low to mid 80s. Headlines as we take a look. What time is it? 6:54. 6:54 on a Thursday. Right before fall break, a lot of folks might be exiting, checking out, maybe getting a day early on that holiday period of time for the Knox County students and beyond, because I know it's not just Knox County, but early fog to hazy sun today. A few specks of drizzle maybe reappear later today in the Smokies. And then a few showers, rumbles of thunder on Friday. I left a 30% chance. I do think some spotty rain may form later tonight, mainly after midnight. So a dry weekend expected, because Friday will be the last of the rain we see for some time. Let me say that again real slowly. Friday's rains will be the last raindrop you see and I see for a while. For a while. October is going to live up to its expectation and its reputation of a dry month. Cooler nights, we're talking 40s coming back into town next week. Tennessee versus Arkansas, if you're going to the game, you've got fall break. Maybe that's what you're doing today. You're going to take off early, either today or tomorrow, and you're going to that 7:30 Eastern Saturday game. It's on ABC. But as a Ballers go Big Orange, I did modify, got to take into account, I always forget, the central time zone. So I did modify what was a 78. I think we're probably closer to 81 for kickoff. Sky condition, unchanged. Winds, still about 3 to 8 miles per hour. That's unchanged. But the kickoff, 81, will cool about 10 degrees during this ball game to 71. With clear skies, we know the Vols are going to do great. I want to cheer them on whether you're there in person or watching on TV. Many of us clearly will be watching them on TV as they're at the Razorback Stadium there in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Okay, right now it is 6:56. Our relative humidity is not 100%. It's close enough. It's 96%. Last report, we had 2.5 miles visibility with the fog at McGee-Tyson, but 60, dew points 59. When they get super close, you'll get that relative humidity way up there. And that's what we have this morning. Here's my valley planner. Keep in mind, normal high is 77. We should be at least, he says, 6 degrees above normal. If we hit 84 today, 85 for Tellico Plains, would not surprise me. But early fog will give way to hazy sunshine. And then later today, some mountain drizzle may form for the Smokies. I have some showers tomorrow, but then it's a bunch of zeros. Some will say, yay, I like zeros. Too much rain, had too much rain. But it's nice, though, that we have a surplus, right? We have quite a bit. I believe it's over 8 inches for the year. But that's how much rain, because we had a super soggy month of May. We had a above average month in August, and above average with over 6 1/3 inches in the month of September. So if we were squirrels storing up the nuts, we got plenty of nutty weather in East Tennessee as of late. Storm Prediction Center showing no severe thunderstorms anywhere in the country, just some hot spots for general thunderstorms would be Tampa, Miami. Those are the areas in light green that the Storm Prediction Center just indicating where some convection or thunder could occur, but nothing in the state of Tennessee today. This will change tomorrow. As I mentioned, there could be some rumbles of thunder, not much, but most of Florida covered, all of Florida covered, but they did kind of paint the light green here in East Tennessee. So anywhere in the green area here on Friday could be fair game for a thunderstorm to pop up. And then Saturday, that disappears as the sunshine takes hold, and we'll be keeping an eye on the Gulf of Mexico for the development of Milton. Regardless of what the Hurricane Center decides, and in the time frame that they decide, it will still be a soggy period of time if your fall break plans take you to the Gulf states this weekend. Futurecast shows high pressure moving over toward Philadelphia. There's the spot of rain or drizzle. Now, it's interesting. It's not a coincidence. That high is centered over my home state of Delaware. It's also over New Jersey. As the winds rotate clockwise, it's kicking up moisture across the Appalachians. So you're still looking at some moisture that occurred, maybe a spot of rain, but a lot of this is overplayed. I don't think it's pouring down buckets in Charlotte or Atlanta, but it could produce a few scattered showers. Notice as the high gets a little further east, some of that shuts down. The forcing is gone, and then we're really watching an approaching front on Friday that will kickstart some afternoon showers like so. So by 5 o'clock tomorrow, if you're on the road, if you're going north, south, east, or west, be careful if you're heading east because of the power outages in western North Carolina. But keep in mind, those showers will be short-lived in the evening, and we'll have nothing but sunshine for the rest of the weekend. More rain, again, developing across the Gulf. So if you're heading to South Carolina, it should be fine. If you're headed to North Carolina beaches, maybe you're hopping on an airplane going someplace to New England, most areas will be fine. It's just the Gulf of Mexico that will have some problems. All right, it is 6:59. It is now time, he says. Time now for your forecast. We're looking for a high temperature today of 83. I think we've established if we hit 84 today, it wouldn't surprise me, because we hit 83 today, yesterday. I was expecting 80 yesterday, but we outperformed. We had more sunshine, and all the clouds were parked over Oneida and Jamestown, where they hit 70. There was a 13-degree difference between Jamestown, Oneida, and Knoxville yesterday. But because of this fog, as it finally lifts, hazy sunshine will dominate, and the winds will pick up this afternoon out of the southwest 5 to 10. Today, look for a high of 82 in La Follette. It will be warmer in Jamestown compared to your yesterday outcome. It will be about 80. 81 for Morristown, and about 81 for Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, and Gatlinburg. Here's the forecast for today if you're traveling. Atlanta, 82. 83 for Memphis, about 80 degrees in Bowling Green this afternoon. Tonight we're down to 64, partly to mostly cloudy. If you're going to the Maryville-Bearden game or the Hardin Valley football game, it should be dry. Spotty rain will come in mainly after the ball games and toward midnight, but there could be some more fog tomorrow. Don't think it'll be as bad with the excess of cloud cover rolling in. 62 for Kingston, 62 for Middlesboro. Look for a low in Morristown, White Pine at 63 degrees. All right, it is now 7 o'clock straight up. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast. 82 for Friday. A few storms, mainly showers, but a few rumbles of thunder possible. 84 on Saturday, 85 on Sunday, and then the cooling trend. I think you're going to like that cooling trend if you're a fan of autumn. You don't have to be a winter fan to enjoy 40s in the morning. It's cold enough to see your breath at 45, and I think we're there Wednesday morning, Tuesday night, because if you're outside early in the morning and it's 45 in Knoxville, it's likely going to be around 41 in Crossville. You could tack off or subtract 4 degrees easily. So our friends in Crossville, I'm thinking, or in Cumberland County, like who did we have on here? Oh, I know who we had. We had Marsha Ramsey. She's in Crossville. So Marsha might actually be able to get into the low 40s. She might say, I need to turn on the heat in my car. It's so cold. But we will feel like fall Tuesday and Wednesday when highs reach only about 73 degrees. Got a couple of notes from you. Some of them, speaking of Janet, there's a Janet Potts. She's got a note from Talbot. She says it's foggy and 60 degrees. Thank you so much. And I do have a note from Marilyn. She says, have a great day and travel safe. Please donate if you can for flood victims. Yeah, this is a tragic situation that people are finally realizing how bad it is. These power outages that I've been posting at 11 o'clock, 11:30 at night for the last couple nights, just to remind us that, hey, we still have our lights on, but our friends just across the state line do not, and it's in the tens of thousands. And with hundreds of people missing, this is going to go down as one of the worst storms. So I think they're putting up there with Katrina. Katrina may have had more fatalities, but this one's going to be remembered for a long time, no doubt. So I want to thank you for your time. And just be mindful, as I know many of you are, in thoughts and prayers as we need it for this part of the country. By the way, if you haven't checked out my YouTube, because I've been live streaming on both, you might prefer YouTube. How do I get there? Now, the channel is free. I do say a lot about subscriptions, but the subscription to the YouTube channel, that's free. You just have to do youtube.com/@. It's that slash and the @ part that can be confusing, but Captain Accurate does trail after youtube.com. What's also free is the app with Pete Michaels Traffic. If you did not get the dense fog advisory last night around 10 p.m. or the one that came at 5 a.m. the morning before, yesterday morning, then you owe it to yourself to get the information in real time. And that's one of the benefits of having the app. It is free. You get 3 extras in addition to all the National Weather Service alerts, one other thing to mention, and my premium service, which does have a very small investment. It does provide you my winter weather outlook. That's what I wanted to tell you. In the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be posting my winter weather outlook on my premium service. Now, just like last year, that's the only place I posted it. So you got to be a premium member to be in the know. And you say, well, what good is that? Well, on October 29th, I told my premium members that we were on track to get 8 to 12 inches of snow. And we got 8.5. Some of you got 10 or 11 back in the Martin Luther King period time frame weekend of January. So coming this fall, I will let you know what I think this winter will bring, give you some time frame. I'm not just going to give you a number. That's all he did was give me a number. I'll break it down and give you all my reasoning. You'll get that in a very lengthy video that will be coming on premium, so hope you'll check it out. And then you'll stick around and find out to see my snow forecast. You're the first to see all my snow forecasts, every forecast if you're a premium member. We go beyond the next 7 days on a regular basis. Our focus is 2 weeks, 30 days in the future. That's why a lot of my premium members, in my view, my premium members are the most well-informed East Tennessee weather fans, right? They're in the know. If they read my posts, and they can read as many as they want, I do prolifically post, they also get 4 extra Facebook Lives in a month, because I usually do them on Sundays to help them plan for the week ahead. They also get fewer ads. So if you're interested, join us. It's only $4.99 a month. That works out to 16 cents a day. And you can cancel at any time, but I think it is the best bargain. In my view, best East Tennessee weather bargain that there is. Check it out. You get top of mind. Anything that's on my mind, I'll post so you can get all the information. And just hit the subscribe button at the top of my Facebook page. My name is David Aldrich. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. And if you're taking fall break a little early, enjoy. We'll see you when you get back. Take care.